Hi, Kim. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Same to you, Anson. Good to see you.
The third Monday of every January is MLK Day, but this Monday is extra special because this January 18th is the 63rd anniversary of Willie O'Ree breaking the NHL's color barrier. What similarities do you see in both men?
Two amazing national, international heroes, both in service to others. You know, one of my favorite quotes that Dr. King said was, for all of us to be dissatisfied until equality is normalized. And to me, Willie has epitomized that in his life, particularly as it relates to the sport of hockey and bringing all kinds of kids to the sport who otherwise would not have had exposure.
We've had many conversations. You often say, this is a movement, it's not a moment. Explain to the viewers exactly what you mean.
Yeah, this, you know, the work of ensuring that any sport, but particularly a sport like ours, is welcoming and safe for everyone means that we have to do the hard work. We have to lean in. It's going to take time. It's a journey. It's not an event. And so what that means is that we are going to be constantly evolving, and we have to understand that the moments that happen, while those may be important, it's going to be over time, the movement of our sport and all the changes, the cultural changes that are going to be required, that will make the difference for generations to come. And so I always say this is a movement, not a moment.
Yeah, I'll agree. We always have these special days, these special weeks, these special months with hockey, and I think those are the moments you're talking about. But the movement comes with education and trying to educate people as to why this is important, why this needs to be done. Let's talk a little bit about your efforts with making hockey more welcoming, a safer space to be. You spent a lot of time with Executive Inclusion Council, and you have the subcommittees underneath those. Can you give us a little bit of progress on how you guys have been moved along, how things are moving along with trying to make the hockey a safer place?
Yeah, what's so exciting to me is that we now have over 60 voices, from players to broadcasters to influencers to executives, as you said, all of those people rowing in the same direction. Contributing their voices and their views and their points of view to help elevate our game and take it to new heights. And that's happening through, as you said, the Executive Inclusion Council, which is made up of owners, presidents, and general managers. People like Vinny Viola from the Panthers, and Mark Chipman from the Jets, and Jim Nill, the GM of Dallas, and Doug Wilson of the Sharks, all coming together to be held accountable for the ways in which our sport will advance. And reporting into this executive committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Bettman and Kim Pagula of the Buffalo team, 3 committees, players, and you sit on the Player Inclusion Committee, so you understand people like Shattenkirk and Ryan Reeves and PK, and women like Megan Dugan and Blake Bolden and Sarah Nurse, all contributing their voices and their views. The Fan Inclusion Committee and the Youth Committee, which includes both Hockey Canada and USA Hockey, having the difficult conversation, the hard conversations that will take our sport to the next levels. And all of these recommendations will result in long-term plans, 1-year, 3-year, 5-year, 10-year plans that will take our sport to a new and higher height.
I could talk about Jacob Slavin and all the hard work the current players have put in, but what I like the most about the PIC is just not just men, it's women too. It's a Players Inclusion Committee. It's not the Men's Inclusion Committee. And tremendous work there by Megan Duggan and Blake Bolden and Sarah Nurse and Julie Chu. There have been a lot of thoughtful conversations, but you mentioned Vinny Viola, and we know there's a long-term view with this, but just recently the Florida Panthers hired Brett Peterson as the first Black assistant general manager. Vinny Viola is on the Executive Inclusion Council, so we're starting to see the fruits of that labor already in year 1. I know we're looking 10, 15 years out and changing the game, but to see this happening so quickly, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I'm excited because I know that the clubs are making amazing progress already, as you said, in moving us into this direction. And again, ensuring that this is a movement and not a moment. So whether it be Seattle Kraken and the way they are constructing their whole organization and at the intersection of gender and race and ethnicity, to the Sharks that have this amazing inclusion council that has included voices at every level. They're nameless clubs that are doing the work, the hard work, the behind the scenes work, the stuff that is more than just performative, but is really about substantive change that makes me know that we are on the road to real change over time. And
allyship is so crucial when it comes to this movement, professional hockey or hockey in general. It's not the NBA where it's a league that's predominantly of people of color involved in that game. Hockey is predominantly white. And to see a player like Alexander Georgiev, the netminder for the New York Rangers, having Martin Luther King on his helmet, what are your thoughts about that, and how does that make you feel seeing this allyship with the National Hockey League and what that's doing with moving the movement forward also?
One of my favorite quotes from Dr. King is that the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. And this is the exact example of Alex, who has used his voice and his view to stand up in times of challenge by having MLK on his mask and having the proceeds go to important not-for-profit organizations in Harlem, in the community, that are making a difference in helping to raise awareness around kids, particularly kids of color. What he's doing and what he has done is just yet another example of this movement that we're talking about. And I'm just so proud to be part of working with him and the Rangers to amplify this work.
Yeah, I was especially touched when I saw Georgiev's mask, because I've spoken to a lot of European players and they were kind of sitting on the fence, not because they didn't want to get involved, but they were based in Finland or Sweden or Russia. And I had to remind some of these players that once upon a time, Swedes were seen as chicken Swedes. You know, Russians were seen as being selfish, and we all know that's not really true. And we've been able to integrate those players into our game, and we've got a better game as a result of it. So once I explained that to European players, now they understand the value of diversity and what it means to professional hockey and hockey in general.
Breaking down these stereotypes, as you just described, is exactly what's going to make the difference in terms of people understanding that the issues that we're talking about, making our sport more welcoming and making it safe, is something that has to do with the values of hockey. They stand at the core of the values of our sport. And so, again, he is such a perfect example, and what he's done with his mask is a perfect example of using your voice, having the courage and the bravery to stand up and take a stance. And as he said, he saw these injustices happening, people not being treated fairly, and not understanding that what we seek is humanity. And he used his platform for positive change. It's just really, really, really something special.
Well, Kim, thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to joining us on MLK Day, which is also the 63rd anniversary of Willie O'Ree breaking the National Hockey League's color barrier. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
Thanks so much, Anson. Happy MLK Day.